Hi everyone, my name is Chong, and I wanted to welcome you to the upcoming Shamanic Journey workshop. I've created this preparation video to help you get into the right frame of mind so that we can get the most out of our time together. So please watch this video completely. Feel free to take notes or jot down any insights or questions that you might have and bring them live into the workshop. So, what is a shamanic journey? Journeying has been used by ancient shamanic cultures around the world to tap into an expanded state of consciousness, to retrieve information that you normally wouldn't be able to access in your limited everyday life. And this was typically done in a setting that involved a ceremony, that invoked certain spirits in nature. And through this ceremonial connection with nature, a deep intuitive channel was restored. Now, people have become stuck and frustrated because they're slaves to their mind and they have lost this spiritual connection with nature. The shamans of the Mongolian Siberian region would use drumming to get into a trance state for journeying. Plant medicine shamans in the jungles of South America might have taken hallucinogenic brews to get into trance. In my lineage of shamanism, from the Caro healers of the high Andes Mountains in Peru, we call on certain guardian spirits around the medicine wheel, which then opens up a sacred space to assist us in this process of awakening. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a spiritual person or not. You don't have to believe in what I believe in. To do this work, you don't need to believe in spirits. Just like in the yoga tradition, most of the yoga poses are named after Hindu gods and goddesses, saints, and animals. You don't need to believe in any of that in order to receive the benefits of the practice, right? Journeying isn't about imposing belief systems on one another. I just need to inform you and to tell you about the origins of this work as a kind of respect to my lineage, and also to give you a basic level of understanding that all we're doing is reconnecting to our natural energy. I've adapted these ancient techniques into a more modern context to make this process more relatable. The only thing you need to do when coming into this workshop is to have an open mind with the understanding that only 5% of reality is visible to the naked eye, and then there's this whole other 95% of reality that we cannot see, and the invitation to you is to be open to the potential of maybe experiencing the other 95%. You can think of shamanic journeying kind of like going on an inner vision quest. We will use various breathing techniques and the active imagination to go inwards like we're having a waking dream. Oftentimes through a journey process, people come out of it and they go, wait a minute, did I just imagine all of that? It was Einstein who said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Now, because imagination is a function of advanced cognition from the hippocampus region of the brain, it allows you to develop and create a sense of agency, independence, and confidence in your day-to-day thoughts and actions. Brain research shows that it doesn't matter whether your brain is either remembering past experiences or mapping present day experiences or imagining future experiences. It will change the neural connections of the brain in order to create those thought patterns into reality. There is a condition that neuroscientists call hyperphantasia, which is a term used to describe people with very vivid mental imagery. These people can summon images in their mind's eye and then change their reality because of these extreme imagined experiences. So it's perfectly normal to wonder if during your journey, did you make it all up? Just remember that the imagination is the function of your consciousness speaking to you in abstract language through symbols, metaphors, very similar to how dreams happen. However, in English, we often use the word imagine in two ways. Imagination as a positive creative force, or imagination as a negative delusional force. So the distinction you'll want to sort out is actually the difference between imagination through intuition or imagination through instinct. Whether you're getting a flashback to a memory or a download of the future. The imagination system is the way for you to plug into the mainframe of your subconscious mind to rewire your reality. So basically, two main types of visual or felt experiences can occur: self-centered or selfless. The self-centered experiences might show up as old memories or a sequence of images that are tied to base animal instincts of desiring food, water, shelter, safety, belonging, and a sense of recognition, which, by the way, are part of the first 4 stages of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. These types of visual experiences would belong to the imaginal realm of your instincts. A selfless experience will involve some sort of blueprint towards a greater purpose and to benefit your community or the world in some way that will challenge the ego's comfort zone. Selfless experiences belong to the imaginal realm of intuition. Think about Benjamin Franklin, who created the lightning rod, Tesla and his electric motor, or George Lucas, who wrote Star Wars. All of these people changed reality because they were able to go beyond the limitations of the logical mind and tap into the imaginal world of intuition. Typically, self-centered experiences will express itself through the 5 senses, the emotions, and possibly a nervous twitch through the body. Selfless experiences will feel as if they're being received from beyond the 5 senses. It will feel like sublime bliss that is non-ordinary and divine, and perhaps it might even feel as if you've left your body. Ancient cultures understood and respected this connection to the imagination. It was just as important as reason or logic. Remember, imagination is simply your soul speaking to you in the coded language of images and symbols. So if you've ever had an experience of a very vivid dream or even a daydream where you received a big creative download, then you've had a taste of a shamanic journey. It just probably wasn't conscious. So when we go on our shamanic journey, we're just purposefully going into this dreamtime state with intention. In quantum science, we know that the invisible world of energy informs how we create our reality around us. And our thoughts all carry a particular energy that then starts to shape our lives. So if you're holding on to old stories about who you think you should be, that comes from lack-based belief systems, let's say from your parents or your ancestry, or stories of not feeling deserving enough, or you're holding on to all the times you were ever hurt or heartbroken, or subconsciously identifying yourself as someone who is a victim to the cruelty of the world, these thought programs will crystallize as physical tension, aches, or pains in the body. Until you consciously unravel them, dissect them, and then shift them, your life will be hacked by these old thought patterns. You'll find yourself stuck and frustrated in a cycle of rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So one of the main things that we will practice in our journey is shedding these old stories that are in the way. And once we can step outside of these limitations and connect with the energy that created your mind, body, and soul, you will feel reinvigorated and re-inspired with a vitality that is greater than what I can even explain in words. During the process, you might start to see, hear, feel, or sense from a place of deep inner knowing. And to get there, there are 4 main systems that will switch on in order for you to drop in. The first is the mental system, which is your intellect and the ego. It's the analytical part of your brain that's talking all the time. It's the visual part of your brain that sends you images. It's also the part of you that will be constantly observing everything that's going on in the room to keep you safe. The second system is the emotional system, which are the emotions and the feelings that will get elicited from either memories, the verbal prompts that I offer, or simply they come out of the blue just because your body needs to feel it and to release it. The third system is the body's kinesthetic system, which is similar to the emotional system. However, for example, when you're asleep, sometimes you move or twitch, and it's not associated with a feeling or an emotion. It's simply the body's intelligence in readjusting and returning to balance. there might be runoff energy twitching out of your body that feels out of your control. So if that does happen, don't freak out. Just trust that it's your body's way of cleaning itself. The body has its own intelligence. We just don't allow it to come out because we're using the mind constantly to control it. And the last system is the intuitive system, which we talked about earlier, where imagination and sensing into the mysterious world of energy happens. You might get bursts of divine downloads. This one is a little bit more difficult to explain until you actually experience it. Let's just say, in this state, you will begin to sense into that invisible 95% of reality that's not normally visible to the human eye. Now, everyone has a particular default to one of the four systems, more so than the others, because of their personalities or their previous life experiences. And so, in order for an expanded state of consciousness to happen for a journey, we need at least two of these systems activated. So, through the ceremonial opening of sacred space, the music, verbal guidance, and sometimes I'll use hands-on touch to assist you in dropping deeper. This will all help you get into these states. And if you're new to journeying, you'll probably find that you have to move with some effort to get into that state. And that's fine, because journeying is a skill that needs to be practiced and developed. The easiest system to access, of course, is the mental state, because we're so conditioned in the mind. Then it's the emotional system. It's a bit more tangible because we feel feelings and emotions on a daily basis. Then it's kinesthetic system, and then the intuitive system. However, with that said, some people find it difficult to feel their feelings because they've numbed it out for so long. If that's you, you might find it difficult to move further on in the journey. And that's where I might come by and help you move things along by either touching things or doing some energetic things around you. Some people, they find it easier to let go and to trust whatever happens to happen. Now, just remember that whatever happens during our process together, it is exactly what you're supposed to receive in that particular moment. So I invite you to stay open, to come with this spirit of adventure as we drop into this process together. And that's pretty much it. So take some time to reflect on everything that I've said, and I look forward to seeing you on the mat. See you soon.